It's Janae Bower with Finding It, the inspiration and transformation that you need to have a breakthrough to inspire you. I am honored today to be here to kick off and introduce the Virtual Women's Inspired Retreat. Now, on and off for years, I have hosted live Inspired Women's Retreats where women are gathering together to share inspiration, resources, so that we can all be on this path of personal transformation and spiritual growth and, doing the things that matter most in our lives. And what we're doing here is having a virtual retreat, a chance for you to step back and retreat in your own homes, retreat into your own heart, so that you can move forward this year with more passion, more aliveness, and more energy that you need to really be the best inspired woman that you can be. So I'll be sharing with you a variety of speakers who I really honor and admire, who can bring out this concept of inspiring you. And I, as well, am going to share with you my topic, which is the 3 insider secrets to having a breakthrough to inspire you. So there's a handout that I would like you to go ahead, if you haven't already, to print out. It'll be 2-sided when you print it out in the document. Just go ahead, and it's probably best to double-side it and then fold it just like a program. And that's how it's set up. So I'll be taking you through these 3 insider secrets if you want to take some notes as we're going along. And I will be sharing with you the PowerPoint that I've made as well during this presentation. So very thrilled to share with you this topic that I am super passionate about. So what I'm doing right now is just getting it set up so that we can be on screen share as I'm sharing with you this information, the 3 insider secrets to breakthrough to inspired you. So what I'd like you to do is just take a deep breath and look at this beautiful picture. To me, this looks like a beautiful oasis. An oasis right now that I would like you to feel and be in. And what I want to try to bring to you is an oasis of inspiration. So in order to do that, I'm going to ask you to let go of the desert, to let go of the things in your life that are getting in the way, the things that aren't being fruitful, the things that are leaving you empty, dry, abandoned. And when we focus on these desert kinds of ways of life and thinking, it can just really suck the life out of us. So I want you instead just to feel with all your senses, to see, hear, touch, this oasis of inspiration. Because when you truly are your best inspired you are in this, you are it. So that requires us to engage our hearts, our minds, and our souls. And this is a chance to just truly rest your body so that you can engage in these other areas, because this is meant to feed you in a deep and inspiring way. So hey, we're here with a sisterhood of inspired women that could be gathering around virtually with us from across the world. Who knows who will be led to be part of this virtual retreat with us. But know true that you have sisters, you have girlfriends, you have these amazing women from all over who are rooting for you, who are kindred spirits on this journey of becoming more inspired and transformed for the better of their lives. So during this retreat, I have 2 ground rules for you during my presentation. One is, and what I mean by that is, just be so happy you're here. Just say, I'm in awe, I made it. You can relax. You've actually taken the time to be here. And the other ground rule is, I would love for you to open yourself up and actually just be in awe. You know, there's probably things that you've heard that I'll be sharing with you, and I'm sure there is. But just look at things in awe. You know, when we're children, we look at life with such awe, with like new things. that everything we encounter of wonder and curiosity. And I'd ask you to do that here and ask, what if? What if I did that? What would my life look like? How could I be something different? So just be in awe. All right, so the 3 secrets. Secret number 1, and you can open up your handout, is to stay inspired. So the first insider secret is all about being inspired. The blank says blank is to breathe. So inspirar means to breathe. So inspiration is to breathe life from within. So inspire means to breathe, and inspiration means you're breathing life from within. You're bringing life within. And it is the most enlivening and exalting divine influence that will both incite and excite your greatest potential and highest purpose. When we are living in a state of inspiration, we are living at the highest level of ourselves. We're breathing life within. And in spirit also means God within us, right? We're breathing life out of the greatest source that we have possible. And so to be in this inspired state, it's amazing when you all know it, right? You know those times where you've been inspired, when you've been in the flow state, or maybe you're an athlete and you've been in the zone. You just know those moments where you are on fire. Time just flies. Everything is going good for you. It's flowing and it's amazing. That's when you are in an inspired state. And this is so critical. I mean, there's some masters and gurus out there. In fact, Wayne Dyer wrote a book about inspiration, and he says how he lives so much of his life constantly in an inspired state. And it doesn't happen just by default. It requires deliberate intention. But we don't want to just be inspired once. We want to figure out, how do we stay in this state so we can continue to breathe out life of us, be that spark of energy to that next level. So Brendon Burchard said, our supreme duty must be to rekindle the magic of life. And I would add to that, to light the way, we must ignite the spark within us. And that's what we're saying with inspiration. So we said that inspirar is to breathe. It's that spark, being that spark of energy of breathing life from within. And when we are that spark, we can spark others. And I believe that we need to find out how we can do it at the depths of our heart, because that's where we get the core, where we get our inspiration. So we get our inner inspiration equals external influence. So when we're able to connect on that deeper level, we can bring out that spark within us. So I want you to think about what is at the center of your heart. What brings life to you? What inspires you? So there's a heart there for you to write down what matters most. What is at the heart of the heart for you? And for me, it's my faith, my family, and my friends. So this is a picture of myself, my husband John, and my 3 G-boys, Gavin, Grant, and Garrett, my 3 sons, who I'm so grateful for and love a ton. And really, at the heart of heart, this is what it's all about for me, is my faith, my family, and my friends. And living out my faith is living out my true purpose and work, which I'm sharing with you right now. And then being able to inspire and be the best wife that I can be, and mother and friend and family member and into the community, etc. So what is at the heart of your heart? What do you need to breathe life into? So take a moment to figure that out, because then we'll move on to the second insider secret. As you're thinking about that, I just want to share an example, because when I'm breathing life into me and that creativity, it's amazing what has come up. And that's why I just have realized a gift that I do have is being in this inspired state, because sometimes I literally cannot turn off my ideas. And this is an example of products that I've created, books that I've written, movement or ministries or products and programs and websites, because that inspiration just comes and flows out of me when I am in that inspired state. When you figure out how to light that spark within, it will just flow out of you. All right, the second insider secret is to be intentional. Be intentional. So the first one is stay inspired, which is great. Then we need to be intentional about what we're really going to do or use that inspiration. So what does that look like? How do we want to do that? The first area I want you to think about is system U. You know, we think of a lot of different systems in our life, but I don't know if we really think about ourselves being a system. For system YOU, and I capitalize that to know that it's really about you, but an acronym that you can also use for you is Y for you, O for others, and U for university or the universe. So a system U has to start with you, it extends to others, and then it goes out into the universe. It goes out greater from there. So your life's work should be that your life works. Your life's work should be that your life works. You should figure out a way that system U is not defaulty, it's not broken down, but it is thriving. And in order to do that, we need to be intentional and figure out how we can make that work. You know, it's like this example of a drop of water. You know, we can make that ripple effect in who we are. And just a small, tiny drop of water can make a great ripple effect, right? Well, think about this. If you are rock solid in who you are, if you're rock solid in your system, you know what matters, boom, imagine the ripple effect you can have. And yet what happens is we continue to focus on the drop or the drops of all these other people to make things work. We don't take the time to really focus on us, making ourselves rock solid, making ourselves really a good, solid foundation so that we can come totally inspired in this world. So how do we do that is the second area is for you. When I'm talking about inspired you and just the letter U, what I'm really talking about is university, right? U for university. When we go to university, we're really studying a lot about philosophy of different courses and classes, correct? So philosophy is having a philosophy is a love of wisdom, a love of wisdom. And so when we have gone to school and universities, or we have to study intently, we have to study hard at these topics, these subjects. So what I'm proposing is that we need to study ourselves with the exact same intensity that we do at a university, as if we're studying ourselves and we're majoring in ourselves in our undergrad degree, in our master's degree, or our PhD degree. Now I've been doing this for a couple of decades. I mean, really studying how I can be the best inspired me I can be. And so I would say I'm at the point now of studying myself like a PhD. I mean, it's to that intent of, because the only person that I can change is me. The only person I can control is me. So if I can't control or change other people, then it's got to be me, right? I got to figure out a way. If I don't like what's showing up in my life, what can I do differently? So what might be some different philosophies or schools of thought in your life? You know, what have you been studying that really make up who you are? If you need to study this wisdom about yourself and your philosophies, what might be some of your schools of thought? Let me give you a few ideas of what I've been studying this past couple of decades. I have my PhD in divinity, meaning that I have been studying spirituality, faith, religion, Christian living, all of these different areas for decades. And so it's like I've created kind of my own school of divinity. Also, I have done law school. For me, my law school consists of understanding the natural laws of the universe, laws such as the law of attraction, the law of effort, the law of gestation. There's so many natural laws out there that can, once we understand them, that they're principles, they're grounded principles that are both scientific and spiritual, they can make tremendous difference in our lives. I've also done some study in a school of psychology, a lot around the whole optimism, happiness philosophy. I actually do have my master's degree in learning and development and training. How do you create best learning environments and programs for people? So a lot of different schools of thought that I've studied on personal transformation, professional success, how do you become an entrepreneur? So those are some just examples of schools of thought for me. I really encourage you to think about you. And maybe it's what you've done in the past, but what do you want to be intentional about the future? Depending on what your goals or dreams are, what schools of thoughts do you need to study intently in relation to you so that you can go ahead and move forward? So again, there's a spot there in your handout where you can take some time to write down or think about maybe some of those different areas you might want to tap into. All right, we are on our third area of being able to, the third insider secret, because if you notice, it all starts with IN, because there's only really two ways change happen. Either, something changes to us from the outside, or we change from the inside. And you know what? The changes that oftentimes happen to us on the outside, we can't control. We can always control how we respond to them. But the changes on the inside of us, those are the ones that we can be intentional about. Especially once the first insider secret, we've stayed inspired. Then we can be intentional about it so that this third is then to have intensity. So again, you can be inspired and you can be intentional, but if you don't have the intensity, you're just kind of going through the motions, you will not get the best inspired you results that you're trying for. For example, my boys play soccer, right? And there's my husband's a coach, and there is this boy that we've known for years. He's always been on different teams, and it was the first year he's been on our team. They do a little fall travel soccer league. And this boy is a all-around just great athlete. And what makes him great is definitely not his height. He's probably one of the shortest kids on the team, but it is his attitude and his intensity. I mean, this kid is everywhere. I mean, my son Gavin is just as fast as he is, right? But this kid has intensity like I've never seen. And it's something that, of course, is innate in us in one sense, but it is something that we can develop and grow. And that kid wasn't goalie all the time, but it seemed like he was, because he was stopping goals that weren't even his when he was in the goalie. I mean, he's just all over kicking the balls. So he has this level and intensity that we need to learn how to embrace in our own lives. And that brings us really to breakthrough. What does it mean to have a breakthrough? So if you think of running a race, for example, there's somebody who just breaks ahead of the pack, typically is the winner, right? Whoever breaks through the finish line first is the winner. And so to have these breakaway results, to break ahead of the pack, to break through the finish first, it requires that intensity, that focus, that intentional focus, that we are of one mind. We have sustained concentration. We know exactly where it is we want to go and how we plan to get there. So these breakthroughs are so important because they can just really hone in on what matters. So a life-transforming breakthrough awakens you to the realization of how brilliant and magnificent you just really are. And sometimes it feels like we do have to break through walls, doesn't it? I mean, it is difficult to make these breakthroughs because we have had years and years of repeated habits that haven't served us well. We have unconscious beliefs that get in our way. We have people that we surround ourselves with that hold us back. There are so many obstacles that can get in the way. But yet it is possible. When we can have a life-transforming breakthrough, it can just break through anything, whether it's brick walls, the hard heads and our own thinking. We can break through other people's perceptions. Whatever it is that we need to break through and break past, we can do it. When we realize that, we just come to the realization that we can be on fire. There is so much that can't hold us back when we can break through to inspired you. So how do we do that? This is the idea about getting into shape. And I don't mean just any kind of shape. The shape I'm talking about is inspired shape. And when I was just really in these decades of studying myself with this university-like focus, what I realized is that I have learned how to get into the best inspired shape of my life. I can't say that with my best financial shape or physical shape, and those aren't my gifts, right? Those are things that I do need to work on, but I feel like my gift to you and my gift to the world is helping people get in their best inspired shape. Because at the core, at the heart of the heart, you can work as hard as you want to do with any goal. But if you aren't inspired at the depths of your heart, the deepest part of your soul, if you don't figure out how to stay in your best inspired shape, it doesn't matter what great system you use or how motivated you are. It will be so difficult because you are the faulty system. Inspired you is that faulty system. So we have to figure out, how do we get into our best inspired shape, and what does that really mean and look like? And that's where we just feel like it flows, and we just feel like we're on fire. We're alive with being, who God created us to be, truly. So again, another example of it takes great people that you surround yourself to uplift you into being this, and that that there isn't anything that you can't do when you're your best inspired you. And so that's really what I want to share with you. Is I have created, for the first time that I'm sharing, as these couple of decades of research that I've been doing and implementing my own life to help you break through to inspired you. So this March through May, I'm having a special just for inspired women to really gather together to get into our best inspired shape. And so what I want to go ahead and share with you just a little bit more information on what this program looks like. But before I do that, there's just an ending quote that I want to share, because when we do that, we're on the most transformational ride of our life. It is a thrill to be inspired, because you never quite know where the ride's going to take you, but it's always the right place that you needed to go. Panache Desai, who's an author and speaker, he said, "You are here to touch, move, and inspire an entire population of people. Touch, move, and inspire yourself first. By knowing yourself, by loving yourself, and by unleashing the love that is in you." So I want to share with you, if this is something that you feel you are ready for a breakthrough and wanting to step through to be your best inspired you, I totally invite you to be part of this program. It doesn't matter where you are, but location-wise, it's a virtual online program that really will help you with your personal transformation so that you can be that best inspired self. So here's just a little bit about what that looks like. But it is that whole idea of creating a system to help you more easily, effectively get there. So the bottom line, it's time to say no more. I had to finally do that and say no more excuses, no more limiting beliefs, no more letting other people control me, and so forth. And no more to holding off on my true destiny. I mean, it is time for that breakthrough because you are your most important asset, your greatest liability, and your best investment. So that's what I am here to share with you. So this program really is in 3 parts, and you can find out more. I'll have a link here to this program, but it's really about that individual study and reflection, coming together in a group application and accountability with a small intimate group of inspired women to be with you as well. And then having large group coaching and teaching with myself. So again, it's a 12-week course because what we have found, you hear that it takes 21 days to make a habit, but more additional research says it takes at least about 3 months or more like 90 days. So this is not a quick fix program, believe me. If you want to be your best inspired you, this is a lifelong skill and passion that you should have, because no matter what you're trying to do or goal you want to achieve in life, the one thing that's common in all of these, whether you're trying to purchase your dream home or run a marathon, it's you. You have to have the best shape of your body or your best financial shape for your home. So how do we get into that inspired state? How do we be intentional? How do we truly have that intensity to do so? So this 12-week program will take you through each of those areas where there's video coaching, then video lessons and group coaching and virtual work that I am just super excited about. So there's also more information on what the program will look like. This is the first time I will be releasing it at a special price, which will be $297. And if you have a group that you want to go ahead and get together for an early bird, you can do that too. So that's awesome. So here's just takes you through the program, and I'll have that link for you in case you are interested. So as I end this session, I just wanted to end with this quote again, because I just think it just says so much, and it's great words for you to ponder. You are here to touch, move, and inspire an entire population of people. Touch, move, and inspire yourself first by knowing yourself, by loving yourself, and by unleashing the love that is in you. So as we close, I am just so grateful that you have taken the time to invest in me and you, and I just hope that you will remember that there isn't anything that you can't do when you are your best inspired you. So join us for some other inspirational, inspired women speakers on the virtual retreat, and we're just so grateful for being here.